This is a reading for Anna. Now, this is a one-to-one reading. I do have permission to post this. I've changed all of the names for privacy, but I know who they are and I'm reading on their names. So, if you have been curious about how a reading with me goes, basically I get all of your questions and I record myself answering them. Kind of simple. I also do like real-time readings, but I only take those by appointment. These are sort of the easier access kind of readings. All right, so for Anna. Anna had a lot of questions. Anna is at a major life pivot right now. She is in a spiritual mentorship situation, and also very recently experienced a breakup. So she still wanted to know just some things about the ex. They're still living together. She's figuring things out. We're also going to read about her financial situation. And finally, at the end, I'm going to just like throw some witchcraft advice out there for just like help her work out some solutions. And Anna, once you've watched this, and if you want to reach out about the witchcraft suggestions, and I'll help you write your spells out if you want. So let's get into it. All right, reading is for Anna. Person of interest is Carter. This is the recent ex. The ex is called Bianca. The ex-wife is Bianca. So we are going to rapid fire some of this stuff about Carter, because we want to satisfy our curiosity, but we want to get into the meat when it comes to solutions to things. So here we go. What are his feelings, hang-ups, where he's stuck on his ex-wife? What are his feelings for you? Where does she stand with him, her perspective? Okay, so I'm going to pull on all three of you, and we're going to see, okay. Reverse King of Pentacles. So we're going to read him first. Seven of Wands, also reversed. Okay. And a Five of Cups, also reversed. Okay. All right. All right. All right, Carter. Listen. All right. Carter he's very, okay, Two of Pentacles. God, the reversals. Okay. He's very down on himself about like where he isn't financially, but also I've just got like this huge lack of action on him regarding that. Just absolute standstill. When you put Pentacles in reverse, everything is on pause, okay? And I've got a couple of these. Right below King of Pentacles, I also have a Two of Pentacles in reverse. He will not make a decision. There are no decisions to be made. I mean, there are decisions to be made. He just won't make them. Reverse Seven of Wands. He, you know, like, he's afraid that if he approaches these decisions, it's going to feel like ambush. But basically all he's doing is turning his back on things that need to be done. It's like ignoring problems until there's a fire to put out, but then pretending like there's no fire to put out, okay? That has got to be absolutely infuriating for you. Now also this reverse Five of Cups, that's a lack of gratitude. And I'm just going to show you this in the upright, because Anna, I know that you are also learning tarot right now. So I'll drop little bits and pieces, like digestible information. So and a Five of Cups. Now, some people read this as depression. I do not. So there are the cups that are fallen down. There's, you know, some insinuations of failure emotionally, loss emotionally, but there are two behind him that are still upright, that still have something in them. Okay. So it's being way more focused on what he doesn't have rather than grateful for what he does have. So when I have a Five of Cups in reverse, a lot of the time, and not always, but a lot of the time, there is a distinct just lack of gratitude. There's a lot, and in this case, there's a lack of gratitude for you, but there's also a lack of gratitude for the things that he does have. He's way more focused on what he doesn't have and what he's not willing to do to change that, rather than the reverse, right? There's nothing that you can do about that. That is just simply who he is and where he's at, okay? You cannot change this. You cannot dog walk a man to a better life, okay? Now, let's see who else comes out, you or Bianca. Let's see Bianca first. Okay. So, all right. So I can see where some of this is getting complicated. Just as a sidebar for anybody who may be watching, Anna's partner, recently unpartner, but Anna's partner, has an ex-wife. They share a child. And they got together in high school, like very high school sweethearts. They were together for a very long time. And sometimes they still have to deal with each other. Now, this Ace of Wands, she still is like attracted to him. But this reverse Page of Swords, besides that, she wants really not much to do with him. I would say there are feelings like, I can feel that she has a little bit of disappointment and nostalgia around their relationship. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles reversed is kind of echoing that. Yikes, Knight of Cups. Okay, so she does have a lot of feelings around that, but ultimately his shelf life for emotional availability is very short. You have experienced this too in your relationship with him. So given that that is the case, I would say that is even kind of a preset for him, or just a pattern for him. But as far as Bianca goes, that attraction is there. And for both of them, it looks like a lot of those feelings flare when they're in proximity to each other or anticipate seeing each other. But outside of that, I don't think you ever had to really worry about her. It's really the way she lives in his mind that is more of the issue in you guys' relationship. All right, so now let's see you. And how does he see you versus how does he see her? Oh. Okay, so the way he sees you is like, and I'm just going to preface this by saying, like, I feel like this is a little bit unfair. So don't shoot the messenger. He feels like he's constantly giving to you and not being reciprocated to. I mean, factually, that is untrue, but he feels like he's the one doing charity work in this relationship. The audacity. Now, there's also this like 10 of Swords, 6 of Swords kind of juxtaposition. It's like hostility and hiding. Okay. The hostility versus the hiding. It's like you guys can never quite get onto like stable ground with each other. Now that lack of stable ground, it's like it starts with the communication. It starts with the meeting of the minds, and the communication can't be consistent. The meeting of the minds can't be, there's no consistency to offer when you have this like waffling 10 of Swords hostility versus this like hiding 6 of Swords. Okay, like those two things working in a seesaw here, it's just there's no stable ground to find when you can't even kind of get your minds on the same page. And he's not really going to he's not really gonna bend to you. He expects you to bend to him. So where he's thinking he's doing some kind of charity work, even though you are factually the one taking care of him here in the 6 of Pentacles, you know, it's like you can't press through somebody's delusion, baby. You know, you can't, you can't talk someone out of a false truth that they have convinced themselves is real. Okay. So, that unfortunately is the case. All right, let's move on. You had some questions about you guys as therapists. Now, I know that's probably no longer an issue, but I know you also, you know, really kind of needed your therapist. So let's get in here and see what her deal is. So sidebar for the folks watching. This therapist is Anna's, but they were seeing her together. Just couple support. And this therapist was originally just kind of supporting Anna through caregiver burnout, you know, and things of that nature. And there was a sudden switch in bias to favor Carter. So, we're just going to look into that and see if there's like a cause, or if this doesn't really have much to do with you guys and it's more of a her problem. Let's just see where this goes. Okay. All right, so therapist is worried about money. So this is less to do with the two of you and more to do with job preservation. I've got death, reverse page of pentacles. She's worried about money. She's worried about her career. She's worried about long-term path. Now, and I've also got her like with a 5 of cups, 5 of wands. The discord is intentional. In her mind, if she can promote or provoke some issues, it'll keep you coming back. Which, you know, that's job preservation for her. I would say it's highly unethical. Okay. So, let's see here. I'm not seeing anything like attraction ethics coming up here. I'm seeing it more being centered around her and like her career and her bottom line. Because I recall that was a question that you had. Was like, is she into him? Is it? But no, this is deliberate provocation of chaos. Because she sees you as this 9 of Pentacles. She's watching you kind of walk away from your problems with this 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is leaving your troubles behind. 9 of Pentacles. I call the 9 of Pentacles like the Queen of Pentacles Jr. Because the 9 of Pentacles is just as secure. Just like, and not just materially secure, like emotionally secure, mentally sound, like kind of full package, fully developed, like in your bubble of this is me and everything I've worked for and I get to live like this now, right? Like 9 of Pentacles is prosperous. Your therapist has absolutely a temp on the amount of success that you have the potential to make doing what you're doing now. Okay. So, but she's also watching you walk away from things that are not for you. And she's also seeing how withdrawn both of you have become from each other. And so she's just kind of sowing some discord, hoping that you'll come back. So that she can keep you on her books, basically. She's also trying to take him on as a client, which is also kind of unethical. Pretty sure. But yeah, that's the tea on therapist. She's operating for her own purposes, doing all of that. That switch to favoring him over you, even though she's supposed to be your therapist and you were just bringing him in once in a while for support. It's really just so that if she can manufacture a little bit more discord to coach you through while you are otherwise getting your life, then she thinks that it's going to produce a few more subsequent appointments. Because I think really the thing is, I think she thinks that you don't need her anymore. So I don't, you know, whether that's true or not, that's up to you. But that, just from her point of view, just kind of like peeking in her head a little bit, I feel like she thinks that you don't need her anymore. And so she's trying to like grasp a little bit. She's clinging. All right, so, all right, let's look at the spiritual mentorship and the path ahead. What does this hold for you? What advices are recommended? Okay, okay. Let's see here. All right. Okay, so you actually have a lot of things kind of moving quickly in your direction there. I've got Three of Swords, Emperor, and the Sun. This Three of Swords, I feel like some of your initial learning here is going to come parallel with just kind of licking your wounds about this relationship, and maybe some other ones. Not for nothing, this path that you're in is going to definitely challenge you in a shadow work kind of way. Okay. Now the Emperor, there is for sure somebody besides your main mentor who just simply wants to help you, but it looks like they're pretty far ahead of you and they have some legitimate authority. Okay. But the Sun, within a year, you are going to not feel so new anymore. A year from now, particularly with this Emperor, okay? With this Emperor kind of in your corner helping you. And I feel like really more, his thing is going to be more advices rather than authority or commanding, okay? And I feel like this is a person. If this were an entity, I feel it would have a different kind of quality to the energy. This is a person. But you are gonna, I mean, like, we're talking leaps and bounds in the next year. Okay. What else? What else on this path? Important, good to know. It's definitely gonna challenge you, baby. Yeah, okay, you're gonna have a lot of exposure to other spirits and other entities, other deities, other, okay? Not necessarily in harm, but definitely with the Seven of Swords there, I feel like there's gonna be a little bit of fear. Some of it's gonna be uncomfortable, but King of Swords and the Hermit, you're safe. Okay. Remember your protections. Remember who you are. Just understand you are going to definitely be engaging with a lot of unfamiliar spirits, unfamiliar entities. Eight of Swords, Six of Wands. Yeah. But the Six of Wands, this is okay, but that's positive. Okay. Six of Wands. When you encounter those spirits, I almost feel like even if they don't become spirits that you work with, even if they don't become entities that you work with, okay, they'll also be, there's a sense of, with the Six of Wands, there's a sense of untouchableness. It's a victory that nobody can really take away from you. And so and I feel like it's really tied into that Emperor too. Having someone who is mentoring you from a place of like spiritual authority, and I don't necessarily mean like a hierarchy, okay? I mean somebody who is very strong in what they do, very seasoned in what they do, very responsible with what they do, structured, all of that. It's going to give you, I'm searching for a word. It's going to give you a confidence. I feel like that word's just not quite enough for what I'm getting, but it's going to give you something that is going to not only keep you safe, But the interactions you're going to have with a lot of these spirits are going to be surprisingly positive, even if they are not inherently benefic themselves, okay? And really centered around like knowledge and communication, especially with all of these swords here. So difficult, challenging, but a lot of exposure and learning about things that you wouldn't otherwise have on your own spiritual path without this mentorship and without engaging in this path. And not for nothing, a lot of it is going to be like the entities that you pull off of people. It's really important to learn about them. I feel like they'll teach you about themselves, but I feel like there's a lot of knowledge. I mean, the hermit always comes with knowledge. So I feel like there's a lot of knowledge to be gained. Particularly from those spirits and interacting with them and dealing with them. Let's see. Okay, so your last questions are very related. Financial independence. Now, blocks, I'm just gonna say Carter is the block. He's in your way. Even if you guys are less romantically involved, you still live together, and his energy is very, I'm not doing this. He is the block. So, let me see what's in your blind spot, though, because we're aware of him. Let's see what we're not aware of, if anything. Okay, this blind spot is really more something that hasn't happened yet. So within about a month, there's a spirit that you're going to encounter. This one is a spirit. It's not a person. I don't think it's a person. A spirit you're going to encounter probably with an affluent client. And affluent is relative. Okay. Affluent client, 10 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. And it's going to shift something in your client draw to draw more people who have paid attention to those areas of their lives that are material, hard realities, careers, jobs, who are just simply ready to let you help them. Okay. 6 of Cups. This is very meaningful bond. This is not a romantic reading, so I'm not reading this through a romantic lens. The 6 of Cups is very much a kindred, but it also often has, these energies of like older and younger, advisor, advisee, mentor, mentorship. Now, I realize that like you are in a mentorship place, but this feels specifically work related for you. And so it's going to put you in this place of having clients who are just ready to let you help them. Not endlessly trying to pull people out of poverty so that you can help them. Okay? It's very much just people who are ready for you. And it's going to feel like a relief. The moon is about a month. That's going to shift for you. So that's your blind spot, and it's really just something that hasn't happened yet. So really happy for you on that. How to recapture your material stability. Let's see here. Witchcraft. Actually, I said witchcraft and then I pulled cards. I was joking, but it's a King of Wands and a 5 of Swords. Genuinely witchcraft. King of Wands is a king of labor. He is working, but also fire is both destructive and creative. Remember that some of the best medicines in the forest grow after a wildfire. Some of the most valuable rebuilding of something is the labor that you do when you are cleaning up a mess from a disaster. Now, there is no tower here. I have not pulled a tower for you one time. So anything that is destroyed, anything that is tricky, it's not coming with that severity. Okay. Now, this Five of Swords, some of this you may have to fight for it. But that swords, that air element, you're fighting for it with with your big brain. You're fighting for it with your words, maybe with your prayers, maybe with your petitions. I'm also just kind of getting be really deliberate with the words that you use in those prayers and petitions. Perhaps even take on some magic words, or new ones. But as far as the last question was, read path for witchcraft, on how to free yourself. No, and I'm already being given it. I'm not going to pull any more cards. It's an egg, baby. It's an egg.